Hello. Do you like to read historical fiction? Sometimes I do, and I just recently did. I just did. And it is Karen Joy Fowler's novel about a historical novel called Booth. This is about the Booth acting family, very prominent in the 1800s in the USA. Produced many fine actors that toured the country extensively, became stars, the last of which was Edwin Booth, who was lived in New York at the end of his life in the Gramercy Park area, which is just a few blocks from here. And there's a statue of him in the middle of the park. So it starts out before really the children are born. There are lots of kids in that family. I don't really remember how many children there are, but there are several children that are born. A couple die young in childhood, so we go through all the tragedy of all that. Jonas, Junius, is the father's name. And he was a big actor in his day. So this is the early 1800s, and he tours America and is quite a star. He's also a bit of a drinker, which disrupts some of his performances. It all starts to take. We follow the daughters too. We look at Rosalie, who never married, always stayed with the family, and ended up being a dependent of Edwin. Many of them became a dependent of Edwin toward the end, but she had something with her spine, like scoliosis or something. So she had a sort of a trick spine, which I guess made her less marriageable, whatever. So anyway, she never married. There's another daughter named Asia who did marry. Now the girls did not go into acting because it was at that time it was looked at as you're a slut if you're an actor, a female actor. So it was looked down upon. So only the boys go into acting, and the one who really takes off is Edwin. And there are stories about tours which are really interesting. I didn't know that during the gold rush in 1849, when all these people were going to California with attempts to become rich, I sort of pictured that as an overland trip from the East Coast to the West, but no. According to this book, people are going to somehow getting down to Panama by boat, either I guess in the ocean or down the Mississippi River and into the Caribbean, and then in Panama they go across Panama there, and that's how they get to the Pacific. Of course, there was no Panama Canal then. It's not a big, but it took a long time to get across. And it's just like jungle and stuff. So there's all these creatures and horrible diseases to get, malaria and so forth. So it's a real ordeal to get across Panama and then into another boat and then up to wherever you're going in California, I guess. And Edwin is a young man at this point, and one of the sons, June, is out to California already, and he says, "Well, you bring Dad out here, and you're going to make a lot of money because there's all these people with gold money and so forth." So that's what they do. Edwin sort of goes as his father's minder. He's being kind of apprenticed to his father. He's not really acting himself yet, so he's going as an apprentice to his dad, kind of just to keep him from not drinking and blowing his performances and so forth. So the two of them go off, and I think they go off with a couple other people, but so we have a lot of details about that trip, and that was a very interesting part of the book. It was kind of an adventure story because Edwin remains back. They didn't make any money. It was kind of a bust. Edwin stays in California, and Dad goes back by himself, but unfortunately, he dies on the way back by heading up in Memphis or someplace, Louisville, Memphis, someplace, because they headed back up the Mississippi from the Caribbean, and he died on the way back, and he was like only 56 years old. So that was a really interesting part. Then we get into, of course, John Wilkes. He is the second to the youngest child, and the youngest child is Joe. Joe became a doctor. He's the only boy, I think, that didn't go into the acting bit. And around the Civil War and all that stuff. So John got into a bad scene when he went to school. He went to like a boarding school in I don't remember where it was, right? Somewhere in Virginia, or somewhere, that there were a lot of Southern boys in this school, and he got influenced by his peers at school, and he became a very virulent pro-slavery and during the war pro-South guy, which of course led to him conspiring with people first to kidnap Lincoln, and ultimately he pulled this assassination off, basically kind of on his own. And upstaged his brothers and his whole family by doing that. I wrote a little song in the voice of Edwin, thinking about what Edwin would feel about that. After the assassination, Edwin did not act he was going to stop acting forever, that kind of thing. Shocked by the whole thing and ashamed and horrified. But he started acting again 6 months or 9 months later. So another part of it that interested me was the Knights of the Golden Circle. John got involved with this group, this outfit called the Knights of the Golden Circle, which was formed in 1854, and by the time of the Dred Scott decision and the South leaving the Union, they had this big plan where the Confederacy was going to invade these countries to the south. They were going to take over all of Mexico and Central American countries and basically encircle the Caribbean, the countries around South America there on the bottom, Venezuela, Colombia, and they were going to build this whole other country, the Golden Circle, whatever, the flag. Oh, they had a flag, the Knights of the Golden Circle flag. And so it was this kind of a big thing, and that's what John Wilkes got involved with. And it sounds crazy that they would have these designs on you. There's other countries and think they could expand like that and so forth. Countries that were not interested in having them do that. They wanted to have it have the capital of it all in Havana, Cuba, and none of this actually worked out. That Havana, Cuba was still a colony of Spain at this point. So they. So that that's what John was into, and and thinking how crazy it all is and so forth. But think of now. We have Trump elected, and right away he says, "Oh, we can take over Canada. We can bring Canada into and then Greenland too. We can do Greenland, and now I guess he's going to buy Gaza or whatever. So it's just that kind of American crazy crap. And it goes back way back then to these Confederate people. As I said, Edwin finished his life up in Gramercy Park area, and I went up there a few days ago, and there is a statue of Edwin Booth right in the middle of Gramercy Park. I can't go into Gramercy Park because it's locked. There's a big gate around it. I see people in there sometimes, but it's Gramercy Park is kind of a fancy neighborhood, so somehow they pay some sort of tax or something around there to keep the park up, and it's private, so you can't, and even during Open House New York a few years back, whatever, I don't even think that it was open then, I don't know. But anyway, I've never been in there. I went up and shot through the gate to get a shot of the statue of Edwin Booth, which is in Gramercy Park. And then right across the street from the park is the Players. The Players is a club for actors or whatever. I was in there once for something. I don't remember what it was, but this was a building that Edwin Booth bought and had the family live in. He had to take care of all the girls and so. Well, Asia was married to somebody else, and she had a successful family and some sort of a career managing theaters herself, I think. But so the Players is a club for actors of some sort. I don't know. And Edwin lived on the top floor. It said in the novel that the top floor is kept the way it was when he was there. I don't know if they allow tours up there or anything. Maybe I'll check it out and see if I can go up and look around. But anyway, I shot some footage outside of the Players, and you can see that it's rather nice building, and that's where Edwin Booth lived. So he did have a good, successful life after the assassination and so forth. The book does not get into like conspiracies. It doesn't study the assassination in a lot of depth. It's not that kind of a book. It's really about the family, the women in the family, and the boys, and what it's like to be a theatrical family in the 1800s, and that's what it was. And I really liked it, and I will play the rest of my song here for you, and I hope you enjoy it. And I thank you for watching. My brother John, everybody knows his name. Like a ghastly dark star, that's his horrible fame. I'm older and I worked hard. I kept the drink in check. He got with a rough crowd. made his life a wreck. My brother John, I love him, but I hate him for what he did. What he did to the Union, to my mother's brothers and sisters and me. He shot old Abe, crazy thing to do. Same time killed us Booths, my mothers and siblings too. He was my brother, and I love him, but I hate what he did. Did to the Union, my mother, my brothers, my sisters and me, a crazy kid. He was my brother, and I love him, but I hate what he did to the Union, to my mother, my brothers, my sister, me.